Welcome, everybody, to a new episode of Piecing It Together, the podcast where we take a look at a new movie, try to figure out what other movies inspired it. And today on the show, we got a new co-host, Brian Garth from the band Black Camaro. And I've been looking forward to having him on the show for a while now, so I'm glad we got to do this. And before we get into that movie, I'm just going to really quickly remind you all, make sure you are subscribed to Piecing It Together. You can subscribe on iTunes, on Pocket Casts, on TuneIn Radio, anywhere that podcasts are available. And make sure you rate us, review us, leave us some feedback, follow us on social media, do all that stuff. I'm going to make this a quick intro this week because we got a long conversation to get into. We had a lot to talk about with today's movie, which is Mission Impossible Fallout. This is the first time this series, which is now on the 6th entry, has had a return writer and director in Christopher McQuarrie, completing the story that he started with the last one, Rogue Nation. And this movie has Tom Cruise just doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I don't really need to tell you what Mission Impossible is. I'd imagine most of you know what this series has been for all these years, what it has been in the most recent entries with Tom Cruise doing all kinds of insane stunts. If you don't know what Mission Impossible is, you should just stop this podcast right now and go watch all of them because it's probably one of the best series going right now. And this new one is no different, and it was a great conversation. So let's jump into it. So we are here actually at a different studio today. We're here with first-time guest on the show, BG from Black Camaro. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you, Dave?
Oh, I'm good, man.
Great.
Last time I was here, I was on your podcast.
Our scare quote.
He's doing
podcast.
He's doing those air quotes right there. Yeah.
Air quote. Scare air quotes.
They were scary.
Podcast.
Yeah, it was a podcast. I mean, really, when you get down to it,
It's more like a codcast.
That's true,
but that's beside the point.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. But yeah, we're here today. We're going to be talking about Mission Impossible Fallout, which we actually just went and saw together. It was a fun time, huh?
And then we both saw it separately.
That's true.
Again.
Yeah, this is only the third movie this year I've seen twice in the theater.
This is the first movie since The Last Jedi that I saw twice in the theater.
All right.
And
I wanted to see The Last Jedi twice in the theater, but I never got back.
I usually don't see movies twice.
I do.
You know what I saw twice?
Before
that and before any probably Star Wars movie, maybe even saw Rogue One twice, but Gravity. I saw Gravity twice.
I saw Gravity twice, too.
I wanted to feel that
again. I took Gina back to see it the second time. Yeah, Gravity's pretty sweet.
It was good.
I like Gravity. Yeah.
I haven't dared to see it on TV or on a
I know that
Blu-ray
would kind of change the scope of it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're talking about Mission Impossible Fallout today. Today's a little bit different because we are going to start the show off with a little bit of a predetermined puzzle piece. I guess we're just going to jump right in though, because that puzzle piece is actually all 5 of the previous Mission Impossibles. This one, in a lot of ways, it feels like kind of a greatest hits, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean it in a very good way. Lots of little bits and pieces from the other movies.
And that was one of those things that, I don't know. I don't always talk during movies, but
Sure.
There's some people I feel like I could just like lean over and be like, blah, 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 blah. You know, oh, that's because of, oh yeah, remember in the 4th one, the fucking.
Yeah.
And I think that, I don't know, that might have been 1 or 2 of the comments I made while watching it.
Yeah.
Was, oh, that's just like in the first one or whatever.
Yeah.
And I started noticing things too, you know, like callbacks.
Yeah.
As well as maybe homage without necessarily. I mean, I guess homage would be a callback. It's just another word for callback. But some of the callbacks were on the nose, whereas some of them were just kind of
right.
Oh, that's, you know, I mean, getting right into it. White Widow. Okay, the you know, the broker, if you will. Blonde played by Vanessa Kirby, I believe her name is.
Yeah,
My
Vanessa
first time
Kirby.
ever seeing her in anything, but apparently she's been in stuff that is of note. But she was she portrayed a similar character. We do spoilers on this show, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
She portrayed a very similar character to Vanessa Redgrave's Max from the very first Mission Impossible, and that's kind of, I mean, your introduction to her is in a nightclub, and she's talking
Right.
about my mother, Max, and I don't know, I didn't realize it maybe until the second viewing, but they show, you know, a shot of Tom Cruise's kind of eyes light up for a second when it almost like hits him when
Right.
I guess the director wants it to hit you.
You're right.
That, oh,
It definitely hit him before it hit me because I didn't know until you told me.
Yeah, right.
So
right.
I forgot all about
Sure.
Max.
And I was, well, because my first viewing, I was wondering the entire time, like, why do they keep, like, she always has like a little wink in her eye. Like there's some sort of wink, and I couldn't tell what it was. Like, is she somebody from another movie that we should be remembering? Like, was she in Mission Impossible 3 or something? But no, she's not. She's just playing the daughter of a similar character in the first movie.
Right.
So that was cool. Like, it kind of linked the first one to this one.
Yeah.
Via a similar plot device, anonymous courier.
Sure.
Right? Or a pseudonymous courier, rather.
The way that it tied back to that with the first one adds to something I think we'll probably talk about a little bit as we're continuing through, but how this one kind of feels almost like, I hope they do more, but it almost feels like an end to the series in a way. Like, it's like they tie up so much, you know? The only thing they didn't really is Jeremy Renner. Poor Jeremy Renner is off somewhere, not being in an Avenger.
Yeah, well, I actually haven't seen that Avengers movie, so.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
Yeah, I didn't. If I'm being honest,
yeah,
and I love these movies. I love the Mission Impossible series. I totally forgot he was in it.
Yeah.
I forgot he was in it until I forgot he was in it, if I'm being completely forward, until you were like, oh, I heard Jeremy Renner said something. It was like either that or Avengers, and he was waiting for Avengers, and then he didn't get it. I was like, oh yeah,
what a shitty story.
I was like, oh yeah, that's right. He was in it, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And I didn't realize he was in fucking 2 of them.
Right.
He was in 2 of them. Like, wait a minute. Going back to Ghost Protocol, which actually he had a little bit more of a role in than in the 5th one.
Yeah.
Which he has almost 0 role in, right? Like,
supposedly they wrote 4 with the intention of passing the series off to him, and then they just ended up changing their mind on it, like right before they started shooting, and they like totally rewrote his character.
Good.
Yeah.
Because
we don't need Jeremy.
Because 5 and 6 were great with Tom Cruise in the lead.
Yeah.
I mean, if we were to rank them, though, I would say, actually, I don't necessarily rank them on the entire film as a whole,
right?
But more like which of the crazy stunts was like the most impactful to me. And on the rewatch, I would say the 4th one had the most impact on me.
Yeah.
Not considering part 6, right? If I'm considering 1 through 5, the 4th one where he jumps into the archive underwater, and it's that giant pool that looks like a funnel, you know, and he just jumps into it, and then he's got to breathe for 3 minutes underwater. Something about that whole thing, even though maybe stunt, I guess I should say sequence.
Right.
He doesn't want to necessarily call that a stunt. I'm sure he's underwater, but none of that other shit is going on down there. You know, there's not a big arm swinging at his head, right? But I thought that stunt was great. So I would rate that like my 2nd favorite movie as far as the big stunt.
Okay.
Right. Also, I don't know. I guess 3 gets a lot of shit. I don't know why. Because Philip Seymour Hoffman's in it, and he doesn't really do all that much.
Yeah,
he's not so great in it that you're like,
I was like watching a little catch up. I ended up going back after we saw Fallout. I went back. I watched number 1 and number 4, Ghost Protocol. But before that, I had watched like a little recap of all the Mission Impossible movies. I don't remember a single thing that happened in 3, except for Philip Seymour Hoffman being in it.
Right.
You know.
I mean, it's not. It really isn't that great.
Right.
I was really excited to see Kerry Russell in that.
Right.
And she started the movie off rocking. Like, she's just awesome, kicking ass. He pumps her with adrenaline, and she's just like, blowing dudes away. Need a mag. She didn't even say needs a mag. She just calls out mag.
Mag.
You know what I mean? And he knows exactly what the
She
fuck
knows.
right? And I don't know. That was really good. And then that's it.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit. And then we get I don't know. I guess a subpar Philip Seymour Hoffman character, really. I mean, even his performance isn't so bad. It's just like the character wasn't really written for him.
The best part of him in that movie is when he's like stalling for time. He's actually Tom Cruise as Philip Seymour Hoffman, and he's like stalling for time. So he's playing Tom Cruise, playing him like stalling for time. He's like this with his finger, like hold on in 1 minute. Yeah,
right.
That was the best moment. That was the best Philip Seymour Hoffman moment.
Yeah, it's what's so good about that, I would have to say, and maybe people should reconsider their feelings for this movie. But when I watched that scene,
yeah,
to me, that's Tom Cruise wearing Philip Seymour Hoffman's mask.
Right.
So that says a lot about Philip Seymour Hoffman, who is able to convince me that that's not even him.
Yeah.
That's another actor entirely
Yeah.
playing him, when it's not. It's just the character.
He ruled, man. He was the best.
He was playing a character, playing another character, I guess, right?
Yeah, and I mean, playing Tom Cruise, that's tough.
Yeah. Unless you're Ben Stiller.
Yeah, exactly. So, we're talking about the series itself. We're talking about each one in the series a little bit. Are there any specific things that you thought of from any of these movies that were big inspirations? Like, for example, number 2 is when we have the mountain climbing shot, which we tied it right back into that in this newest one. Also, another thing from 2 was I thought that was kind of, despite it being usually the most universally hated one of the series, it's kind of where the series decided it was going to be all about spectacle and like just one-upmanship constantly.
And possibly even relying less on CG to make the stunts look great,
right?
And more on practical effects or just a great stunt, right? And I noticed that on rewatch as well. But I can confirm that Mission Impossible 2 is the worst Mission Impossible movie. I can confirm that.
Yeah.
With exception of some of the elements of Mission Impossible 1 that are just like cringeworthy,
like real dated, and
yeah, it's just super dated technology, and they're just, like when they're like, we found it on the internet, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, the internet?
Yeah.
Oh, anything's possible on the internet.
Yeah.
Like they could get anything they want, and then just the idea of him guessing an email, you know what I mean? And sending like this top secret email to like an email account.
Well, a super spy can definitely do that because that's something that can be done, right?
Right. But that one was cool because it was very much like a kind of a transitioning from the TV version of Mission Impossible into a film franchise.
Sure.
Where the rules kind of are a little bit different, right? And they even did that by sort of passing the torch from I forget his name, but Peter Graves' character from the show,
right,
was John Voight's character in the movie.
I can't remember his name, but yeah,
and he ended up being the bad guy in the end.
Yeah,
and it's like, wait, what the fuck? And he hands that off to a new guy, Ethan Hunt, who now is like the leader of his little task force of Mission Impossible Force people or
buddies.
Yeah, sure, his little crew. Anyway, so that part 2 is probably the worst one because it's just so ridiculous, so over the top. But we do get way better stunts, right? We get right away, we get Tom Cruise actually climbing a fucking mountain that nobody in that theater, maybe one person in that theater would be like, I could do that.
Yeah.
But everyone else was like, fuck that. And it was a real stunt. He really did it. There's also some cool shit in there, like the end. There's a fight scene where, the guy, the bad guy, what's his name? Doug Ray Scott.
Is that? Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
So it sounds right.
Something Scott.
Right.
Actually swings a blade at Tom Cruise's face, and the blade comes within like a eighth of an inch of his eyeball, right? and it's just so like, what, that's how is that even real? No, that's not real. And I have read that how they played that was they put the actual blade on the end of a cable that could not extend any further than this thing, and he had to rehearse over and over and over with the dummy until right. And then Tom Cruise got under there, and they rehearsed a little bit with some slower motion, and finally, like the action scene cut or action, he swings it, and it's just like almost goes right into Tom Cruise's eye, and it's a real fucking knife. You know what I mean? Like, so real stunts really happened probably for the first time in 2, but everything else about it was just so. I don't know, something about it. It just didn't feel right.
Yeah,
as a kind of spy movie.
That was also the one with the Limp Bizkit theme song, right?
Oh,
I think so. I think it was number 2.
I don't know that it had also co-starred Thandie Newton.
That's right.
As the I don't know, third character.
Thandie Newton, the one character who is not tied into Fallout. We still don't know what's happening with her.
We don't know what's up with her. She was a thief, so she's probably in a jail cell somewhere, right? But
it's possible.
That one you also saw, if you think about that stunt, you saw the Burj Khalifa in 4.
Oh yeah.
Right, the cliff hanging stunt from that. He also, kind of shows his ability to climb things again by actually scaling the side of the Burj Khalifa in part 4.
Yeah.
And that relates to the end of
Fallout, yeah.
Where he's just like, I know how to do this.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can handle any kind of crazy shit that is gonna go on with me dangling off the side of this fucking cliff.
Yeah.
Right. So I kind of like that about it. That was one where it's like, oh shit, he already did, where you look at each other.
Almost winking at the audience and like saying like, he's gonna be able to get out of this. Forget this.
I just can't wait to see how they make it happen. Right.
It was pretty violent too. He just pulled that thing down on him. That was great.
Cavill's character, John Lark, met a horrifying end. Tragic end.
You were just talking about Ghost Protocol. Another thing I had from that one specifically was a scene where he's like back up against the wall. He's gonna just have to go in with no mask, which is something that comes back in Fallout. And I figured that was like a scene or a situation that he ended up in that it was kind of like a callback.
Where was that in 4 where he had to go in and act like he was the broker or whatever, the guy buying the plans?
Yeah, and he's like, we just gotta hope that they've never met. And I think he says like almost the same thing in 6. Like,
wow,
gotta hope they never met.
Good catch. I do recognize the puzzle piece there. I see that. There's also, and this was again from 2, 4, and 6, which is interesting how that kind of plays itself out. I wonder if there's any sort of logic to that, like if there's any reason behind that,
right?
But the motorcycle chases, right?
Oh yeah.
They're pretty spectacular in all of them, and I want to say that was also Tom Cruise in 2, 4, and 6.
He's doing it all.
With part 6 actually, I can confirm this is the one I do remember leaning over to you and saying, all those cars are fucking CG right there.
Right.
Dude, Tom Cruise is just rolling through. The dude is just rolling through on a motorcycle, like just dodging cars, definitely going fast, at least doing 40.
Yeah.
Right. But probably 60. It looked more like 60. And that dude is crazy enough to do 60 to make it look right, to make his hair move the right way or something. Right. And I look over to you and I'm just like, yeah, okay. Every one of those fucking cars is CG. And they weren't. 70 stunt drivers on that one.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
When I went and saw it again last night, I was thinking about that very fact, and I was just like, Jesus Christ.
He had to one up the 2 chase scenes combined,
right,
from 2 and 4.
Yeah.
So,
oh my God, that's freaking nuts.
those ones are kind of the standouts, right? The stunt homage.
Yeah.
And then obviously there's a lot of one-upping where that from what was it? I think it was an A400 military plane that he hung from the side of in the fifth movie.
Yeah.
In Rogue Nation. I don't recall how high up it went, but you saw it.
Yeah.
You see that shot there. So
on the runway, that shit would be scary.
Yeah, on the runway, exactly, it would be scary. Even though we all know he's cabled on.
Yeah.
Okay, he is. Let's not act like dude is just hanging there. But no stuntman really is. They have to practice safety. They want to save they don't want to actually die.
Sure.
They're not.
They need an insurance plan and everything.
Yeah, they're not astronauts. You know what I mean? They're not suicidal.
Astronauts.
Yeah, well, astronauts. You kind of have to not give a shit if you die.
Right. First man.
To strap yourself
right?
on top of a rocket and fly into space.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to pretty much not care if you die, knowing that you have a pretty good chance of that happening.
Yeah.
Having seen maybe some of your good buddies die doing it, like you're not really, so I don't know that Tom Cruise would necessarily do it if he you know what I'm saying? Like, sure, the strap could come undone and he could fall off the airplane or get sucked into it or something. I don't fucking know, but it's possible. It's possible his odds are better.
Yeah.
Of survival than an astronaut.
Yeah.
First Man does look great.
Yeah, First Man does look. Really
I was skeptical until I saw the first trailer.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Ooh, all right, I'll get back into this space race."
Gosling, man,
why not? We hate Russia again. Yeah. We may as well.
It's the right time.
It's perfect time.
Yeah.
That brings me actually. Who do we hate? Who do we hate in geopolitics, Dave?
We're turning this into Bird Road, right?
No, we hate the Russians again. I guess we've always kind of hated Nazis, but we used to really hate Nazis, right? And that brings me
now
to
they deserve their own opinion and everything.
Yeah, exactly. But another puzzle piece, and this is an interesting one. Okay, it begins with the tale of a man named Lalo Schifrin, an Argentinian Jew born around 1932, who became a composer and composed some of my favorite soundtracks. You could say Enter the Dragon. If you're familiar with that, he did the whole soundtrack of that one. There's a scene in there where Bruce Lee is creeping through the village, right? Once he's on the island.
Yeah.
He's creeping around on the island, and the music is just so like yes. And that is very, I don't know, like it reminds me of some sort of like spy element, right? And he brings that back. He does a lot of kind of like spy law enforcement type films and soundtrack. He did the Dirty Harry. He did all of the Dirty Harrys, actually. He did every Dirty Harry movie soundtrack. So it's really interesting going all the way back to the 70s Dirty Harrys into the 80s Dirty Harrys, but Lalo Schifrin did those as well. And he's also responsible for the Mission Impossible theme.
Right.
He did not, however, do the music for these movies, but he did come up with the theme. So anytime you hear the theme like dun 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 dun, anyone can do it. It I don't know, every time I hear it, it calls me back to those films, right? And just the elements within them, right? Kind of I guess Dirty Harry would be we'll call him confident.
Sure.
Him and Ethan Hunt have similar confidence, whereas Bruce Lee in Enter the Dragon, while he's on the island spying, has kind of the just the intensity of Ethan Hunt.
Yeah, I mean, it's a combination of intensity, mystery, of outsmarting, your
Right.
opponent. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah, he's got all that stuff. So would
Discovery.
yes, there you go.
Bruce Lee discovers home dude down in the fucking. I don't want to spoil that one.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil Enter the Dragon.
I haven't seen Enter the Dragon in like way too long. I should watch it. So would this puzzle piece be film scored by Layla Schifrin?
I think so. Yeah,
They create that feeling. I think that this character, this series, just freaking thrives in, with that kind of a feeling. My first other puzzle piece outside of those Mission Impossible movies we were talking about, and I actually mentioned this to you as we were walking out of the theater, but the Indiana Jones series. Especially
Sure.
the main thing that made me think of it were those uranium balls, which are total MacGuffins, total, Indiana Jones little like
shrine
things
or something.
Yeah, it's a total
bust.
Yeah,
like a bronze bust.
Exactly. They were really cool design to them too. They just had like a real like timeless, like, I think you see those things if you're watching this movie 20 years from now, you'd still be like, oh, that's a cool like thing that he has to get, But no, aside from that though, also just in general, just the excitement of it and this one is, I'd say, like, it kind of had the most going on, and maybe a part of that is due to the runtime because it is almost 2.5 hours, but there's just like so many scenes and just so much like adventure, like all around, like lots of different locations and lots of different sets and set pieces and
Sure.
yeah.
The cliff, I know, is in Norway. The whole cliff scene with the helicopter was in Norway, which the helicopter scene, that was insane. Okay, like that was from the very get-go. They're standing up on the hill going, holy shit, dude's over there with the detonator getting in the helicopter, and there's 2 helicopters there. You're like, what's gonna happen here? And it's kind of unexpected. I mean, maybe I assumed he was gonna run and get in a helicopter and take off in it,
Right.
and chase after him. I definitely assumed that there was going to be a chase, but I didn't realize that it was going to be I got to run and jump and grab along the side of this thing, kind of like the A400 in Rogue Nation scene, right? Where he's running and jumping on the fucking side of an airplane.
I think this definitely topped it.
It did.
I mean, it was ridiculous.
For sure, it topped it.
Yeah. And it really, like, the director was saying, Christopher McQuarrie, saying that, the audience can tell. And at first, when I heard him say that in an interview before this came out, I was like, not really, but you could fucking tell. I mean, it was like, it really did create like that, like an almost uneasy feeling of like, what's going to happen, but at the same time, you're like, what the fuck is going to happen?
Well, yeah, because he's really on that thing. And I'm thinking in real life, I'm thinking, fuck that. But then, obviously, it's Ethan Hunt.
Yeah.
So he's not going to die.
Yeah.
He's going to make it up there, do something crazy. And he does, man. I mean, it's for it being a real thing, a real actual thing that a person does, right? Because it's not like in an Avengers movie where most of the heavy, crazy action like that is fake.
Yeah. It's,
where
so much CGI,
where it's so over the top that, a character is jumping off of a building or something 3 stories and they land in full form with their shield in front of them or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
And how they do that. We all know how they do that. It looks great. We really love it. We enjoy it, but it's just, it's a different feeling when you see a real human being on there actually doing the actual thing that the character is supposed to be doing, right? It's not even just like camera angles necessarily. I mean, it is too. That plays a big part in why it feels so cool, but
sure,
it's actually the dude doing it. Like the Halo jump at the beginning, was all. It was. They had to do so many takes. I read that they got 1 take a day at that because they needed the light to be exactly the way it was in every shot, and they needed to get the shot at dawn, right, or. I think it was at dusk. I don't remember. No, they roll in at night. It was a night.
Was the lightning storm happening?
Yeah. So they had to go in right as the sun was going down, right?
Yeah.
And it was dark, but not that dark, and it was real lighting, and they lit the insides of their mask. Anyway, all that was real. They had to do it so many times to get the right shots, but it was real. He's really falling 25,000 feet by himself.
Yeah.
There's not like a dude strapped to him. There's not a green screen beneath him, and he's in like a wind turbine or something. Like, he's really falling 25,000 feet for the shot, right? And that's like a similar feeling at the end where he's really hanging from the end of the helicopter.
Yeah.
He's 2,000 feet in the air on that bundle of fucking clothes or whatever that was.
You guys are freaking mean.
What do you think? Man. Let me ask you this: what was in the payload?
That's a good question.
What was that payload? Was that like doctor smocks?
So
I think that's what that was. It was like dirty laundry. They're like, one of them's dirty laundry. The other one's a terrorist with a fucking detonator. Like, wait a minute, what?
That's actually a really good point, because when I hadn't really considered what it was, and I think this whole time I just thought it was a big ass rock.
A big rock. It definitely looks heavy, whatever it is, right? And it's heavy enough to not like really sway when Tom Cruise bounces off of it.
Yeah.
But that whole thing was great. He climbs up into the helicopter, and I gotta say, this one and it's another puzzle piece, actually.
Okay.
You guys talked about this on your last episode, Uncharted. You actually compared the new Uncharted short, fan film, to the Mission Impossible series and one of your puzzle pieces. So I would say, I don't know, I definitely see Uncharted in these films. I see it in not just kind of the suave character or whatever, because they are kind of different characters, but in the stunts, really, and the action sequences, especially the helicopter stuff in this one, like how they pulled off like the seat belt with the rest of the chassis or the rest of the body of the helicopter falling around them while they're holding on to another one.
Great
or
scene,
how they're just like in it, and they're really in it, or even starting at the beginning, you're starting all the way at the payload scene, and the cable, and climbing in, having to punch a couple of like dudes out and then take it over. And a lot of that is actually stuff that you do in Uncharted. It's not just what were you calling them? Not like a cut scene.
The quick time events.
The quick time event. They're not necessarily like that, but you are right that sometimes it's just a button push or something, or
it's
left.
Pretty seamlessly jumps between them in those games.
It really feels like you're playing it, though.
Yeah.
And I want to say there was at least one helicopter situation. Yeah. Uncharted 4 had a helicopter scene where you climb up the rope.
Right.
Because that's the one where they introduced the rope. So you climb up the rope in Uncharted 4 into a helicopter. And you kind of take over, and it crashes, but
they also both have a really good sense of style. Nathan Drake and Tom Cruise, Ethan Hunt. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They're both really cool looking dudes.
Nathan Drake is closer to Indiana Jones than Ethan Hunt, though, I would say.
Yeah.
Ethan Hunt's always rocking some kind of tech, where Nathan Drake is almost never rocking tech. He's the most tech you see is like him taking pictures of his cell phone and like texting it to his, one of the NPCs.
But, well, who's better than Sully or Ving Rhames?
Man,
I gotta take Ving Rhames.
I'm a Luther fan all the way. Honestly, like when I see Luther, I'm like, fuck yeah, Luther. And I seriously, it's kind of upsetting that he didn't play a big role in, gosh, was it 2 or 3? He was just like not even in. No. It was 4. It was Ghost Protocol. He was like barely in that shit.
Yeah, that was the one that he was the least in. Yeah, you're right.
What was the one where he's just like at the table at the end, and he's like, I approve of this message or some shit. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Why was he really not in that movie, right? And,
I don't know.
And I didn't look into that.
No.
I should have looked into that.
I'm not sure.
So I could have asked a question like I didn't know and then answered it. Well, actually, Dave.
Yeah, well, I got this right here. Oh man. Well, My next puzzle piece is actually one I've heard other people say as well. So I guess cheating a little bit, but I was something I had thought of myself as well. But
You Googled it?
yeah, I Googled puzzle pieces. Um, but no, it's The Dark Knight. Which I'm not the biggest Dark Knight fan, but I think the theme that seems to run through this movie, um, it's Ethan having to like choose between one person or many, which was like one of the main themes I think with The Dark Knight.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know about all that. I mean,
Okay.
I see that I see that how not even a comparison. I mean, I see how that happened in both.
Mhm.
Exactly how you just said, but I don't know. I didn't really see Mission Impossible anyway. Who it really came down to, I mean, I guess he had to kind of choose often throughout that movie, right? He had to choose the girl,
And which
right?
one?
Like in part 6 in
Oh, okay.
Fallout.
Yeah.
He has all sorts of choices like that.
Yeah.
And they almost foreshadow that in the beginning. They foreshadow a lot of things in this movie, actually, which is kind of interesting. More things I picked up watching it a second time. But yeah, I mean, I guess they kind of foreshadow that he's going to have to make that choice in the very
Mhm.
beginning when Alec Baldwin's talking to him. He's like, because if you remember in Rogue Nation, he was CIA. He didn't fucking like Ethan Hunt.
Right, yeah.
And in this one, he's magically, this is why I switched over. A lot of expository dialogue
Yeah.
in his character in the very beginning, but he's like, this is why I switched over, because you're a stand-up guy, and I know that you're just crazy enough or whatever to fucking decide to save one person that you care about instead of
Right.
millions of people. And I don't know why, but I like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
that's my kind of
all
shit,
right,
man.
all right. So he's almost telling you that, yeah, he's going to have to do this later in the film.
Right.
And he has to do it a couple of times, right? He
does it with that female cop. He does it with the other cops as well,
And he also, he does it with the other cop in a imaginary sequence.
Right. But I mean,
then he does it with the actual cop in the actual sequence. And then, he has to do it with Vanessa Ferguson. Oh God, Rebecca Ferguson's character.
Right.
Whose name escapes me.
Izzy or
Isla
Illy
or something.
some of them.
Yeah. Yeah. So her character, which I don't know, I really wasn't feeling the romantic connection in Rogue Nation. So I don't know why they like pivoted from his wife to her in this one. What? I don't know if it's because they're like, wait, they look identical. Kids won't, people watching parts 7 and 8, they'll have no fucking idea that it's a different person. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. But no, he had to do it with her kind of in 2 scenes. He had to tell her, and then he had to show her by rolling over her on her motorcycle with the car, right?
Sure.
With the BMW. Yeah. Mission Impossible Fallout brought to you by BMW.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of BMWs.
Every car, every motorcycle, every fucking truck was a BMW. Let's not pull any punches. Okay, so he had to choose with her. Then he had to choose with Alec Baldwin in a way. When it's like, I'm going to stay here and save your life. So there was another choice. And it's kind of, I mean, maybe that's actually a little cheesy thinking back that Alec Baldwin foreshadowed his own death.
Did I just use The Dark Knight to make you lower your opinion in this movie?
I know. Well, I'm trying to get away from The Dark Knight because I fully agree with you. If I were to rate the Nolan Batmans, that would be my least favorite of them.
Really? Yeah.
And not because it's a terrible movie or anything, but it's my least favorite of the 3.
I'd put it right in the middle. I put them like in order, first to last. But
really,
yeah. But
interesting.
Yeah, I just don't think it's the movie people make it out to be. So, do you have another puzzle piece?
No. I tried to make connections but I knew some would be obvious. You already made it. Indiana Jones is pretty obvious.
Yeah.
To me it is, it's obvious also because, I mean, even Indiana Jones himself was based on James Bond.
Right.
who Ethan Hunt is the American James Bond.
I made a point not to make James Bond one because it's like it's
Right.
just so obvious. You know what I mean? At least there's a little bit of something with Indiana Jones, but yeah, Bond is just like, I mean, of course it's Bond.
I have one actually.
Okay.
And this is a trifecta because the game it's really influenced by this sort of format, right? The Mission Impossible format, the impossible feat idea in, kind of Black Ops or whatever, or like, hidden secret government shit, right? Some fantastical shit that is just kind of so unreal. Splinter Cell, the video game series, right? Where
I never followed those games.
Basically invisible, which is the most ridiculous thing ever. If you think you're like a dude who wears all black, who's capable of just standing in the shadows and being so quiet that nobody ever sees him as long as he's in the shadow. You know what I mean? So it's kind of fantastical. But the Splinter Cell series, I think it was. I'm probably wrong, but I played most of them. I think it was Pandora Tomorrow. Anyway, Lalo Schifrin did the soundtrack for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There we go. Tie it all in.
So yeah, Schifrin did.
I didn't know he had done any games.
Yeah, he did whatever they did for one of the Splinter Cell games, right? Huh. And that totally connects because. I mean, there's a lot of similar things. First of all, you can kill people. I guess Ethan Hunt kills people, but you can kill people in Splinter Cell. But the idea is that your character is just like not a murderer. You know, he's not a fucking murderer. He just like will kill you if you're shooting at him. You know, or supposed to be, right? And that's kind of your choice. But he's a stealth dude who maybe a little hitman too. In the disguise arena, because in Hitman it relies a lot on trying to remain stealth, only kill your targets and get into places by dressing as like the security guard or a clown. Right. It depends, right? It depends on the mission, but yeah, I mean that's kind of I mean, I guess we said Uncharted, so I'm thinking video games at this point.
Right, yeah.
Splinter Cell for sure. And the PsyOps, right?
Well, it's funny going back to what you were saying about the stealth and like not actually killing people. It's funny, one of the things I had written down actually was in the first Mission Impossible, there's a line where he like stops him and he says, "Remember, there's going to be 0 body count." And I was just laughing about how that like went completely out the window by Mission Impossible 2.
Right.
And it's just nonstop killing people for the last 5 movies,
Oh, where it was like a sin to kill someone on a mission.
Apparently,
and he grabs a dude by the blade.
Yeah.
It's oh geez, what's that guy's name from The Professional?
Oh, John Reno or something.
Yeah, that's it, right. Yeah, so he kind of ends up being on the bad side in the end. No bodies. I do remember that.
Yeah.
I do remember that. He started waxing people in Mission Impossible 2. Man.
Yeah. By starting with 2, he was shooting everyone in sight.
Well, that one was John Woo.
Right.
That one was an action film.
Yeah.
Right. The first one was kind of I don't know, like
it's just straight up spy movie.
Yeah,
really.
It was a spy movie, spy tech.
Yeah, like straight up like spy and like not specifically action, but like spy.
In fact, some of the action sequences in that were of the worst because I know. Okay, one of the cool ones is cool, but it's probably Tom Cruise's weakest stunt in Mission Impossible 1, where was it a giant fish tank explodes?
Right, yeah.
He throws the bubble gum, the black and green or the black and red bubble gum on the fish tank.
Yeah.
And first of all, what the fuck, dude? You know what I'm saying? Like, did he just kill all those fish?
Body count started at number 1, apparently.
He did start off in life. Right. So, but from there, like, what's the next big sequence? He's on the back of a speed train, right?
Yeah.
A fast moving train. Okay. That's very Indiana Jones. Any kind. I mean, they even did that in Solo, right? Repeated the whole train top
Yeah, it's
thing.
true.
But this one was crazy because it was on the top, and I want to say that was obviously it wasn't a real train, right? That was like a wind tunnel situation.
I don't know
right?
about the train. I'm imagining not, but the helicopter looked fake as hell. I mean, we're talking about a 1996 movie, of course, but
The
or was it
helicopter.
95? I
I
don't
think it was
know.
96. The
Yeah.
helicopter they used was the actual prop in Universal Studios that like falls behind the building. That's the one they used in Mission
It
Impossible.
moves 6 feet towards you.
By the I don't know, I guess what is it, $1 billion series at this point? You think it's made
Probably.
$1 billion by now?
I would hope so. Although I was reading that this movie, like opening weekends, it did great. It was his second biggest opening of any Tom Cruise movie, the biggest for Mission Impossible, but it wasn't even as big as Ant-Man and the Wasp as far as an opening weekend goes. So I mean, Tom Cruise, I mean, he's a
It
fucking
didn't
movie
make
star.
as much money as you're saying?
Yeah, an
as
opening
Ant-Man
weekend.
and the Wasp?
Yeah. I think it was like 67 versus 71 or something like that million for opening weekend.
I don't even know if that's bad. How much was the movie? Do you know how much the movie cost to make?
I forget, but I think it's doing great though. I mean, if they want to make another sequel, they're going to.
Budget 178 mil.
Okay, I was gonna guess 150.
Box office 200 so far reported.
Damn, that's
So
good.
that is good.
Yeah, I mean, it's only been out a week, right? That's good. I don't even know if it's open in all the foreign markets. And actually, you know what? That's
not at 200.
Yeah, I mean that's doing good, I think. But that's actually a good segue to I have one more puzzle piece. Which I don't want to bring this movie down at all with this, because I loved it. We'll get into how much we liked it in a minute, but the Fast and the Furious series, I think that they're starting to creep into all action movies, regardless of how awful they are, and yeah, I think Tom Cruise is a smart dude and is making movies for an international market the way Vin Diesel and company constantly do.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
I have to admit that I only saw the first Fast and Furious movie.
Oh,
I've
so
never seen any of the other ones.
You don't even know what it's become. It's nothing. It's not the same movie anymore.
Well, I know that I know that, but I also know that it has like this crazy following enough to where movie stars can beef with each other on Entertainment Weekly or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
like they could beef with each other on Twitter, and it's a thing. Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
You're an actor, right? Are you acting right now, dude? Is this your
Yeah.
Andy Kaufman moment or something? Like, what the hell is this millionaire actor doing? Like,
Yeah.
having a beef over
It's
another
so
millionaire actor
stupid.
over a crew that exists in an imaginary fucking universe in a film, right? That somehow kind of is also a family in real life of,
Yeah.
you know, comprised of the fans or composed of the fans, right?
Like I said, I didn't want to drag Mission Impossible down, but it's like it really is like.
Would you say Mission Impossible has a family type following like that? I don't think so,
I don't
unless you
think
consider
so.
us. I think you and I are probably the biggest fans I know of the series, and I mean, I'm not that big of a fan.
Right.
I will go see all of them in the theater.
Sure, IMAX even.
Yeah, for sure, and
Yeah.
sometimes twice. But I'm not like I'm definitely more of a fan of Star Wars or whatever than that, right? And,
Right.
you know, I don't have any Star Wars. I guess I have Obi-Wan up on the pre up there, but
We are in BG's studio, by the way, for everyone listening. This is the first time I've ever recorded an episode outside of my home studio.
I kind of thought of another puzzle piece.
All
It's a
right.
very minor one.
That's fine.
It's actually more just like a memory than anything.
Okay.
But Lee Majors in The Fall Guy. Not even the show The Fall Guy, but the opening sequence of the show The Fall Guy.
Okay.
Just kind of reminds me, because it's a real dude doing that shit. It kind of reminds me of, you know, Tom Cruise really doing the stunts.
I don't know if I've ever
in
actually
these
seen
movies.
that.
The show The Fall Guy?
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever watched it.
It was,
When was that on? Like in
I
the
would say, early mid 80s,
Right.
and maybe had like a 4-season run or something, and then it was syndicated for until at least the mid 90s.
Yeah.
You know, on TV, it just kept playing over and over, and you get a couple seasons, maybe a couple of character changes throughout, but it was basically Lee Majors and a dude and a chick, really. Yeah. He had like the cool young guy and the cool hot girl, and
Yeah.
he was a stunt man who got entangled in real life shit that he used his stunt ability to get himself out of,
Sure.
And then he had that huge truck, this huge brown truck. I don't know what it was, a Chevy or a GMC or some shit. But that was like that was kind of like the Millennium Falcon of the show.
Gotcha.
It
Yeah.
was the secondary character where it was just like, what is their vessel? What is it going to get at? And that was during Bigfoot Mania too.
Yeah.
This truck, the brown truck, was raised. It was big. It was like at least it was to me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's a stunt truck that can just go. It could just just hit gainers that are buried or hidden behind bushes. I mean, it's just like magically jump over shit. Like, oh, hey, a truck that 3,500-pound truck just jumping over shit.
So ridiculous.
Tell me that's not Mission Impossible, though.
That sounds Mission Impossible to me, dude.
Ridiculous. Like, what the fuck?
So I think that brings us to the finished puzzle here. Where I'm going to just list down all the movies that we talked about. Of course, the first 5 Mission Impossible movies.
Name them.
Mission Impossible 1, Mission Impossible 2, Mission Impossible 3, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation.
Yes.
And now Mission Impossible Fallout's the new one,
Right.
but you can't be inspired by yourself, I don't think. So yeah, we got the first 5. Then we got the Indiana Jones series. We've got films scored by Lalo Schifrin. We've got Uncharted and Splinter Cell. We've got The Dark Knight, Fast and the Furious,
Hitman.
and Hitman as well.
The game series, not the film series.
Right. Did you even see the film? I don't think anybody saw that movie.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Lee Major in The Fall Guy.
Lee Major, that's right.
Yeah.
Lee Majors.
Yeah, Lee Majors.
Lee Majors and The Fall Guy. Look at the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, the soundtrack's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a good list, I think. So, we've talked about it this whole time, but I mean, I loved this movie. You loved it too, huh?
I did. I enjoyed seeing it a second time. Maybe not as much, but I enjoyed. Well, like I mentioned before, I enjoyed some of the foreshadowing on the second viewing.
Yeah.
Like there's a scene right before they do the Halo jump, they're in the back of the plane having a chit chat about the plan, what's going down, and he's like, how are you going to get in there dressed like the main guy that they're looking for in Act 1, Lark?
Yeah.
And he pulls out his, briefcase where he makes the masks.
Yeah, I did notice it too on my second time.
He scans Henry Cavill's face real quick, right, with the scanner, and his face starts materializing on the computer screen as he's explaining the plot. And then he's like, well, then blah, blah, blah. Then we go and grab Lark.
Yeah.
And he points to the screen, right? And it's Henry Cavill's face.
Yeah, he's like pointing right at his face.
And Henry Cavill, of course, ends up it's revealed that he's Lark.
Yeah.
So I hope that sort of reveal, which was obvious to me, honestly, it was obvious to me right away. I feel like they gave it away almost at the beginning of the film.
That he was Lark?
Yeah.
Well, like I said, in the trailer, they made it look like he was the bad guy. So
I did feel that way after watching the trailer. I felt that he wasn't, maybe not the bad guy, but he was like going to be the guy that's the good guy. He's going to be the Colin Farrell in Minority Report. He's going to be like the good guy that's just trying to do right and just doesn't trust this dude and then ends up trusting him or whatever, right?
Right.
I didn't realize that the trailer was kind of pointing to him ending up being the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
there was also some ambiguity there. Was he the bad guy, or was the original bad guy from Rogue Nation the actual bad guy? Who was following whom, right? I think, I want to say Lark, Henry Cavill, was supposed to be following the guy from Rogue Nation, the bad guy that they, recaptured or whatever.
Yeah,
and,
great suffering.
He's also from one of the best movies ever made, Prometheus. He was in Prometheus.
Which, by the way, I didn't know until this morning. I happened to catch that. Yeah.
I remember him from that the most.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure. Like his character in that. He was like, I want to say he was the first dude to die in it.
Right. I think so. Was he the map maker? That was the first one to die.
So, yeah. I think so, yeah. The guy that threw the ball up in the air. Yeah, he was that dude.
Yeah.
For sure. He was that guy. He ended up turning into, I don't know if it's deleted scene or what, but kind of a almost version of the Xenomorph.
Yeah, that was a deleted scene. I remember that. That was cool.
But yeah, what was his name? Is it Sean Harris? Am I tripping?
Sean Harris. Yes.
Sean Harris. Okay, so Sean Harris's character was the bad guy in Rogue Nation, the big bad. And in this one, he's kind of the bad guy that's been captured.
Yeah.
And he's kind of in handcuffs through the whole movie. And Henry Cavill ends up being the other bad guy that you think is, already dead. And Tom Cruise is pretending to be throughout, half of the film. We've seen him do it so many times that now it's just like, oh, okay. Now do something weird or something crazy there, right?
Yeah, the seventh one is going to be tough. I mean, he's worn out helicopters and airplanes. I mean, what's he going to do,
He's
motorcycles too.
There was something else I caught too that was funny about a helicopter, actually. On the helicopter that Cavill, when it's kind of revealed that he's Lark, he escapes, right? Gets away, and a chase, ensues, and Tom Cruise ends up meeting up to him just too late, and he gets away in a helicopter on a rooftop.
Yeah.
The side of the helicopter, the letters on the side were GD EUP. Giddy up.
Giddy up.
And I thought that, I don't know, I noticed that on my second viewing. I thought that was kind of funny. Giddy up.
That's awesome.
And he escapes on his
Do you think in the world of Mission Impossible Fallout, do you think that's his helicopter? Do you think he wrote that on there? Do you think it was his idea to have that?
Tom Cruise or Henry Cavill?
Henry Cavill. John Lark.
No, I would say that was definitely...
That was just some cool dude's helicopter.
That was the art department. Okay. That was an art department decision. Somebody in the art department slipped that in. The director had no idea. It just looks really official. Well, I meant the camera operator might have seen it and went, "You fucking sly bastard!" But nobody pointed that out until this very moment. Actually, in fact, nobody even knows. Only the art department knows. They're still giggling about it every time they watch it. And I'm sure, like at the premiere, the director was like, "Wait a minute." GDE. Oh, what the fuck? God, can we CG that shit?
Pull all the prints.
That's when they call Cavill, and they're like, "Oh, do you mind if we CG your mustache and the letters?"
Where do you place this one in your like overall ranking, not just on specific scenes or anything?
That's interesting because, having not gone back and watched 1 through 5 yet again, in a marathon, 5 was my favorite.
Really?
And 5 remained my favorite until I went back and watched them again. And then, like I said, I think I started like rating it based on the different action sequences rather than the overall story and everything combined per film. So I would say, like, I liked this one for the action sequences. I loved the action sequences, notably the helicopter situation in the end, where it was, I just felt like I was watching a really cool Uncharted.
Right.
An Uncharted that I would way rather watch than the fan film short.
Sure.
Okay. And just because, obviously big budget.
Yeah, I mean, you can't beat the shit that they were doing in this movie.
Right.
I mean, it's so out of control.
The helicopter sequence was straight out of Uncharted. It was incredible. So probably 6, probably Fallout, then Ghost Protocol,
Yeah.
then Rogue Nation, then 3, 1, 2.
Yeah.
That's how I would go, because I did like 3. It was way better than 2, and 1 is just, it's classic, it's cool. It has one of the coolest action sequences, the whole like dangling from the rope, which has become just a thing that is in 100 movies now.
I mean, hell, they did it in 4, didn't they? They were like redid it with Jeremy Renner, I think.
They
like kind of, with the magnet suit.
I think they redid it with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, maybe with him too.
Tom Cruise redid that in another one, but it was a little bit different.
It's funny, this series, like how you don't quite remember everything unless you like just watched it. Like,
yeah,
these scenes are so awesome as they're happening, but then you kind of do like forget a lot of these scenes.
I think your guest TJ mentioned how he's not really like keeping up with the plot of Uncharted.
Yeah.
But you're able to somehow know what the fuck is going on when like your hands hit the the buttons and the joystick, right? Like you're just like, oh yeah, I know what's happening here. There's guys shooting from over there. I have to shoot at them, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
and it's Mission Impossible is very much like that.
It's fun.
Where it's only easy to forget in that it's fun again when you watch it 2 years later and you're like, oh shit, and so that's cool. I think that's really cool because it is interesting stuff. It's just some of it is just kind of going by at like breakneck speed. You're just
yeah, it is.
I mean, if you're just watching casually, you're not really like absorbing all of that shit. Definitely when you're in the theater on the first viewing, you're also not really absorbing that. You're just like, it's one action sequence to the next. I bet nobody knew where they were Halo jumping into.
Yeah. Right.
Nobody had any fucking clue what city that was. They had no idea where they were actually jumping. And it actually wasn't Paris.
I don't remember where it was.
In the movie, it is.
Is it?
Yeah, but it wasn't in real life. I've read that it was.
That's right. It was Paris.
Over some desert or something where they could just continuously fall and even not have to worry about landing in the park or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was over a desert, and they put Paris in there by Halo jumping. Into Paris with the cameras or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So Paris at the bottom, I think, was fake. But the fall, the going through the sky 25,000 miles up in the air is all real. All of that shit is
I saw something they had to like build a special visor so you could still tell it was him.
Yeah, you could see their faces in the masks, so it's actually them. Even though even that could be faked, but we know it's not. They built those masks to show you that it's not fake.
It's Tom Cruise.
Right.
It's fucking Tom Cruise.
I'm wondering if that was Cavill doing all the other things.
Probably not. I mean, they probably just filmed as few little shots as they needed of him, like,
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely, it's not Cavill on the side of the cliff then.
Yeah.
It's not Cavill hanging from a helicopter at an actual 2,000 feet in the air, probably. You know what I mean? Hanging out the side with the fucking Tommy gun.
That big ass gun.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I sound like an idiot now, but I don't know what kind of gun that was. But, it had like a huge magazine and like I don't know, like a cloth a cloth bagged magazine. I was like, oh, that's an interesting looking situation.
It was awesome.
That's probably so it doesn't freeze in the Kashmir region of India.
Mm-hmm. You gotta be careful about your gun management.
Maybe it was made out of cashmere, now that I think about it.
Oh man. Yeah, I this one actually is probably my second favorite. I'm not quite sure where I'd rank the others though, because I got to go back and watch them. I only rewatched 1 and then half of 4 the other day after I got out of the theater.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You don't really need to see 3 again. Although you were right, I love that whole part where he's getting Philip Seymour Hoffman, where they're capturing.
Yeah, I'd like to at least watch that scene again because it's been I only saw it in the theater and I think that was at like the height of my Polar Bear MC's days, so I think I was pretty drunk.
It was a while ago, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Okay, wait. So you liked?
I like 4 the best.
You
think
like Part 4. You like Ghost Protocol.
I think 6 is
Fallout,
probably my second favorite,
Rogue
and
Nation.
then Rogue Nation.
What about 1 through 3? You don't recall?
I'd probably put 1 as my fourth pick, and then I'm not quite sure about 2 and 3. But
do you think that there's a possibility that there will ever be another Ethan Hunt?
I mean, at this point in this series, it would have to be someone crazy enough to be doing those stunts, like, you know,
Sure.
Because otherwise, you're killing the series. Like, what's the point? Like, why not just make it a new Bourne or something?
You'd have to find somebody, another Tom Cruise, who'd be down to
someone who's charismatic and looks good and.
So, would you say that that's what makes these movies continuously watchable? Is that Tom Cruise is actually doing the stunts in them?
I'd say so. Because I mean, otherwise, I mean, the stories are great, but they're not much other than what's in the Bourne movies or the Bond movies or any of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
We're in agreement.
I think I do agree also that you would have to get quite the stunt man.
Yeah.
To pull off another Ethan Hunt.
Yeah.
And I would go as far as to say that if you were to expand the series without somebody that crazy, I guess you would have to pivot to a new character. You would have to make it somebody that's not really part of their personality, even though we kind of see the leaders of all of the Mission Impossible crews have to kind of be a little nuts like that. Like Josh Holloway, Sawyer from Lost was in your favorite one briefly.
Yeah.
As the Ethan Hunt of his crew.
Right.
Who runs and jumps off of a building and throws a fucking capsule at the ground and it expands in a second into like a Cali King size air mattress.
Takes me forever to blow up my air mattress.
Right.
That would be nice.
So it's like, wait, what did he just throw at the ground? And nothing. He threw nothing at the ground, and it just turned into a fucking Cali King size air mattress. So I mean, that maybe even if Josh Holloway didn't really jump off of a building or whatever, it still shows that the character, the lead character of the Mission Impossible Force crew, has to be crazy. Has to be crazy enough to jump off of a building.
My worry would be if
rely on that.
Yeah, without the real stunts, my worry is that it would turn into Fast and the Furious. What Fast and the Furious has become, which you haven't seen.
Which is what? CG cars or something? Is it all fake cars?
It's not even about cars anymore. They're basically just super spy like
Wait, what?
Yeah, seriously. Like there's usually some kind of car stunt, but they're basically jumping out of airplanes and they have to rob a piece of equipment from some, it's airtight security.
So it's XXX now.
Yeah, they are literally XXX Mission Impossible, but with a bunch of,
that's odd.
Idiotic
characters. I didn't know that. I remember something about the first one. The Paul Walker character was a cop, right?
Right.
But he was like Vice, like investigating fucking.
It's so far removed from that.
Car thievery and shit. He's like, right? Wasn't he like? Yeah. Investigating car theft, or something.
And he gets caught
up
in the
basic.
World.
It was really simple, and he gets caught up in the life with the family.
Yeah, with the family.
Forms his family, and then I don't know what happens next.
The movies are so fucking ridiculous.
I know he's in like 3 or 4 of them, right? How many is he in? What was the one that he was making with them where he died?
I don't know because that was the 6th maybe. I don't know because I stopped watching them because they're terrible.
You stopped watching them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I watched the first one. Second one was terrible. Didn't watch any more until they got funny.
Until The Rock got in it.
Yeah, that's
you started watching it because The Rock was in it.
When The Rock got in it. Yeah. But no, that's around the same time when they went so over the top that they're just like, funny watches, like just so bad they're good. And that's the only reason I watch them now. But yeah, they're like basically giant spy thrillers. Like they're all superheroes. Basically.
So who is the spy? Who works for the government in this scenario?
I think it's I think
Are
it's
they like industrial spies? Are they spying for fucking
like
corporations?
in the last one, this like crazy terrorist person gets a hold of Vin Diesel's daughter or something like that, and so he's basically being blackmailed into breaking into some ultra high whatever,
But why
high security.
him? What's the deal with him?
Because
he drives a car fast.
He's the baddest dude around, you know. It's
so weird.
The movies are
That's
insane.
the premise.
Yeah,
it really
is
You're
triple
not
X. They're like the same movies. Yeah, like it's so stupid.
Okay, so they're not even about driving.
Yeah, there's usually a couple of big car stunts, like they drive a car out of a window or something, or they drive
but
a
it's
car
not
up
street
a ramp.
racing.
But it's not street racing.
It's not
at all
Tokyo
anymore.
drifting. It's
No,
not
at all anymore.
anything that. Oh,
No.
weird.
Yeah,
That's really weird. I didn't know that.
Now they're doing the spin-off with Jason Statham and The Rock. So I think that's probably a good place to wrap it up. Do you you got any plugs you want to do or anything before we get going?
I don't have any plugs. What kind of plugs should I have?
I don't know.
I'm
going on Black Camaro or anything.
I'm currently submitting resumes for employment.
There you go.
What's going on with Black Camaro?
Yeah.
Are we having a Black Camaro talk?
I don't
right
know.
Now? Did you ambush me now?
No.
Is that what's going on right now? Nothing. I mean, we're wrapping up our shit. We're wrapping up a new album.
Beautiful.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
How's life?
Life is okay.
Good.
Life is good.
Yeah.
Life is living one day at a time.
Good. It's the only way to do it, brother.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you like listening to movie reviews? Do you like listening to movie trailer reviews? And do you love listening to guys talking about movies? Then Loving My Flicks is the podcast for you. With Greg, Steven, and Aaron. They talk movies, eat movies, dream movies, and everything they are is about the movies. This is an experience not to be missed, so prepare to tingle all over your body during the Loving My Flicks podcast.
Prepare to tingle all over your body. That is some great ad copy for a movie review podcast. That's pretty awesome. I'm looking forward to listening to Loving My Flicks podcast. I got a few episodes downloaded already. I'm going to be checking it out this week. I just was talking to those guys in a group on Facebook, and speaking of which, you should be joined in our Facebook group, Piecing It Together, a movie discussion group, where we talk about all kinds of movies. We talk about all the new movie trailers. We talk about these episodes of Piecing It Together. You should be in that group. You should also follow Piecing It Together on social media. You can find us at Piecing Pod on all the different social media sites. Make sure you check out our website, piecingpod.com. And I hope you liked today's episode with first-time co-host Brian Garth. I think it was a really fun talk and such a good movie. One of my favorite movies this year. Definitely the best blockbuster type movie of the summer. Tom Cruise, he's a freaking maniac. But I guess that'll do it for today's show. We got a couple episodes that we're planning on recording in the next 3 days here, so there should be no shortage of new episodes coming up in the next week or two. And thank you all for listening. Actually, speaking of which, we had a really big surge of downloads in the past week, so I'm not sure who's out there, but whoever's listening, I thank you. And make sure to leave us a review, leave me some feedback. You tweet at me, you can email me, whatever. I want to hear how you're liking the show. I want to know what we could do to continue making it something you want to listen to. But with that said, I'm going to leave you guys. I just want to one quick reminder that my new virtual reality music video, Palindrome 360, is out now on YouTube. It's going to be hitting more VR apps really soon. And I'm also going to be a guest on a bunch of podcasts, including a couple of virtual reality podcasts. That should be fun. But I will be posting notes about that on social media, so you guys will be able to check it all out. So with that, I'm going to leave you with the piece of music. What should I leave you guys with? How about The New World from my free album, Further Into the Dark, that came out in, what was that, 2014? Something like that. Let's leave you with that. And if you want to download this album, you could get it on my Bandcamp profile, davidrosen.bandcamp.com.
and all points west.